All right, I think it worked and I'm live, but I'm going to give it just a minute and make sure that it pops up how it should here. There's always that lovely little delay, and I always like to make sure it actually worked before I commit too hard. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right. And that delay is really, really long today, so I might be a little more behind on catching the comments. So don't worry about that. Well, good morning, everyone. And like Laura said, good afternoon, but yes, it is still morning on the West Coast. Not terribly early, it's 10 a.m. So that's kind of a good time. I don't mind that. Hi, Barb. Hi, Diane. Lots of people waiting today. Hello, Nikki. And I see Leah's just popped in the comments. So that's perfect. That means we're all ready to get started here. So I might be a bit rusty today. It's been a few weeks between I had a week that I pretty much took off and Leah did it. And then I just ended up with appointments all scheduled around that time or something going on and couldn't do them. So I haven't done a live here in a little while, other than just the combined sneak peek live that Leah and I did together. So I'm kind of excited and looking forward to getting back to crafting with y'all. So, but if I'm a little bumpy and rusty, just bear with me as I kind of get my feet back under me again on that. And hello, Chris from rainy Bellingham, Washington. I am in Mount Vernon and it is rainy and I'm not that far away from you. That's kind of fun. But yes, it has kind of been raining. We had some sunshine this past weekend and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know they'll be back again because we're just getting closer and closer to summer. So, all right. Okay, so as we get started here today, let me just go over the couple things that I remember. Hopefully I remember all of them. So I'm going to be creating with some of our newest release paired up with a little bit of older stuff. Everything that I use today is linked down in the video description. So if you have any questions or you're wondering, you can check and refer there. Feel free to ask. I'll do my best to watch for those. I sometimes miss those comments once I get started crafting, especially since I've got plans to do some hot foiling and ink blending and, you know, all the things. But Leah is behind that Pinkfresh Studio name in the chat. So anything that I miss, she does a great job of catching. She usually will answer questions before I even have a chance or even see them. So, but if somehow both of us miss it, please just leave it again. I promise we're not ignoring you. Sometimes that chat can just move really fast and one or both of us misses it. And then finally, I think finally anyway, we give away a $15 gift card for each of these lives. So if you're new, which reminds me of the other thing I almost forgot, if this is your first time joining us, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to say hello and welcome you. But we also give away a $15 gift card. That is picked from all the comments in the chat. Leah will choose that at the end of the live. So the way you enter is just like you're doing, chatting, talking to people, asking questions, answering them if you know the answer. Another way that you can get entry is if you share this video. There's a little share button underneath the video. And if you click that, you can share it in a message to a friend on your own social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Or if you have a crafty group that you know it's allowed with the rules, just double check that because we don't want you to break any group rules. You can go ahead and take that and share that there. And then come back and leave us a comment and let us know that you shared. And that is an extra entry for that $15 gift card. And I see Kelly, and hopefully I didn't miss anyone else. This is her first time joining us, so welcome. We're glad you're here. One final thing. This doesn't count as an entry for the giveaway or anything like that, but we'd love if you hit that thumbs up button underneath. That helps our reach. It helps more people find us both live and on the replay. So it's just something we really appreciate, especially if you're enjoying these videos. And I think that covers everything. So I'm going to take a little sip of my tea here and then I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera on and see if we can get started here. And it looks like my hot foil plate just finished heating up. So kind of perfect timing. Okay. And there we have my desktop view. So here's what we're going to use today. We are going to be using this fun Sweet Day set. And like I just mentioned, we're going to use hot foil plate. And I am so not prepared. I didn't even get my hot foil rolls out yet or whatever. We're also going to use the wraparound element. I love this fun fringe or I don't know what the that's where it is, but I just love that border there. It's going to be fun to use. And we're going to turn all of this into a mini Slimline cards. So I've got some frames pre-die cut, but we're going to go ahead and start with the hot foiling. So let's see if I can kind of navigate some of this a little bit over here so you can see. You can see that my platform is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my hot foil plate on there. Let that start getting hot. I will hit the timer and we'll just let that heat up. And let me grab my foil. I'm going to use one of the satin metallics, kind of, excuse me, I swallowed my tea wrong. Fringe, there we go. Leah told me that I have got it. I think that's what I said, but now I can't even remember if I said that right or not. But it's fringe. Okay. And I'm going to cut off a piece of this. If you didn't know, we sell glimmer machines and foil rolls in the Pinkfresh store. So if you're looking to pick any of those up, that's one spot that you can find them. All right. Yeah. Where can I get that out of the way? All right. We're just waiting for the timer to go off there. I'm going to take a drink of water too. The tea went down wrong, it seems. Okay, so we've got this already. And I see that my timer just went off. So I'm going to slide this out of the way for a second to make room to pull up my cut machine, which is what we're going to use to run this through here momentarily. And then I'm going to do my normal, sorry, I know it's a little zoomed in here, so I'm doing my best to show. I like to pop this loose so nothing jiggles and moves. And then I'm just laying my foil pretty side down and my white cardstock, putting my 2 shims over the top. And we'll run this through. I'm going to move my hot foil machine out of the way because we don't need to see that now. And that just came up so easy. I didn't even have to peel the foil off. It just stuck right down to my plate there. Okay. And we have a perfect foil there. So I'm just going to move all of this out of the way. Since we're done with, ouch, I just pinched my finger. Don't do that. Be careful when you close those, apparently. That was super coordinated of me. All right, try that again. Owie, it's gonna hurt. I'm gonna save this because I will use my solid hot foil plate and foil the reverse later, but we've got lots to do today, so I don't want to take the time to mess with that right now. So I'll save that for later. And I'm gonna turn off my hot foil machine and just move it off my desk so it's not taking up space. All right, so now we have this beautiful hot foil piece. And I love these images. I think they're pretty, even with no color added onto them, just hot foiled on colored cardstock or anything like that. But you know that that's not where we're going to stop. We're going to move on and do some ink blending with the layering stencil. So let's pull those out and to get that out of the way. Now, real quick, before we move on to this, I want to just show you. So the colors I'm choosing for this is based from what I've already pre-die cut for the fringe die. So I have this fringe die and it cuts out just this fabulous. Let me pull this out. I kind of have it. It's nothing's glued down. It's all just pre-die cut. Got these ready to layer together. But I grabbed some colored cardstock. This I got from scrapbook.com and they're all in just sets of color tones like this. So I just did one from each color. I feel like the weight of it, it's kind of a softer weight. It's not like super duper heavy cardstock, so it bends a little bit better. And I love that on the fringe that you can kind of, you know, bend them up and get the texture in there. Look how fun that is. It's just fun to play with. And it's got that solid bit at the top that just kind of holds it in place. And then the plan is we'll get all that layered together and put this up over the top. So This was my color scheme that I picked. I know, I feel like this right here, you could just put a sentiment on it and it would be good enough. But it's going to be really fun with the cake on there as well. So I'm going to set this aside. And then now as I pull my ink colors out, you'll kind of understand what my plan is, I guess. Just move that all off to the side. And let's pull out, almost forgot, ink stand. And then some ink colors here. And I still don't know exactly what order and how I'm doing them. So I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go. Blending brushes. And we're going to start, I think, with this first layer here. I think we'll just start with really soft colors. Yeah, I was trying to decide. I just saw Leah's comment on there about the scrapbook.com paper pads. I was trying to decide what paper to pick or if I wanted to ink blend and then die cut. And it just kind of hit me. I saw those sitting there and went, ooh, those are like the perfect weight. Let me show you. There's they also come in lots of different color combos. I love this for the cools and like the floral. They've got lots of different. Those are just a few that I have that I really liked. Okay, I think I'm gonna start. Like I said, I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go. So I'm kind of liking the idea of a little bit of peach tone down there. So let's give that a try. Grab my blending brush. Just use the littles for this. And we're going to keep this pretty soft. I think. Like I said, that's my plan right now. We might come back on and deepen them up a little bit if we decide we need to. Should we stick with? I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And I'm going to go with very soft coral reef for the top of cupcake here. I think I'm only going to use the cake today, but of course, when you're doing a one piece, you got to do all of it, right? And then you can save it. Okay, we'll peel our tape off there so we can reuse that. And there is our first magic reveal. Now this card was a little bit inspired. I kind of tried to change it up and make it my own, but I should mention that it's a little bit inspired by one that Leah made for the release. So if it looks a little similar and familiar, I wanted to make sure you understood that yes, I did that a little bit on purpose. I just wanted to change it up and make it my own. So, all right, what color here, guys? How about do some peach fuzz there. What do I want to do here? Maybe we should stick with the same. Oops, I think I've been doing this backwards all this time. I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't know. We'll do this in peach fuzz. I'll stick with that at least. I don't know beyond that, but that's my starting color there. And then maybe we'll go ahead and do the thickener in that on there. I think we'll switch now and we'll do, well, no, you know what? I am going to stick with the peach because then I think we'll do the drip and coral reef. Well, yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to mask off. Sorry, I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go along. I didn't have a full plan here this morning, so. We'll just stick with peach fuzz on. That way it's like our base layer of our frosting. And then we can do the drip in a different color and the whipped cream in a different color or whatever, if you want the whipped frosting, I guess you'd say. This one will just be one consistent layer, except for right here. Right here, I think is where we'll switch and do. well, you know what? The orange could work really well right there too. I know I masked it off and did that, but I think I'm just going to stick with that because I think that actually is a fun color there. Might just do though in here. I'm also going to bump it up a little bit for colors out. And we'll do a little bit of apricot in that bit too. That'll make that a little bolder and brighter and just a little bit of fun there. So there's like a pop of happy color there on the inside. I like that. That little, I said this is part of the part that's inspired by Leah, because I was trying too hard to do like chocolate cake or cake colors and everything, and realizing that that's part of the fun of crafting. We don't necessarily do our flowers realistic to life, so totally can switch up and do the same thing with cakes as well. Make them a fun part. Not that you can't get a cake that's colored like that either, but alrighty then. So we're gonna do a little bit of coral. Yes, coral reef. Do that on here. I think that'll blend that drip really fun. And then the top of that frosting layer, we need to add, just going to do the same color there, that coral reef. I do think I'm going to slightly, here's that's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to blend across this banner a little bit. Here we go. And then we're also going to switch, and we're going to go kind of an ombre tone across the banner there. So a little more peach fuzz. Gonna blend those in the center and then move over a little more. A bit of the yellow there. Okay. So then I realize I need to go back to the peach fuzz and do a little more on the cupcake, kind of those detail layers there. There we go. And then finally, just because we can't just be done there, let's add a little more shading. So a tiny bit of apricot there on the cupcake, just to add some depth there. And then we'll add a tiny bit of apricot at the top of the banner there. And then we'll also take the deeper tone of a little bit of passion fruit. Just again, to add a little more depth and shading. So do that a little on the top there, a little across the side of the cupcake, but still keep it mostly that coral reef tone. And then a little bit of sunshine. And I'm definitely missing a lot of comments. Okay, a little bit of sunshine. We'll do that at the top there. It's just the top there right now. That's not too much. We're going to need it in a minute though, so I think I might just keep that out. So I think our next, oops, that's in my brush line. Okay, that was kind of the fun mix and match layer. So, oh, these are so fun and happy. I love the fun colors. So I'll make sure it's all on camera. All right, so switching. This is going to add the final cake layers. This is where we're going to add a little more of that. So let's see here. Let's start with lemon whip here first. Tone, and that one will go in. Let's see. Or we at the bottom. Yeah, we'll do yellow at the top here. And then we'll do a little yellow here on the inside of the cupcake. Then do the same thing where we come in with a little bit of the deeper yellow. There we go. Not as much there, but why not? Just a little smidge. What was the other color? Oh, we need reef at the bottom here on this bottom cake layer. And then, of course, all the passion fruit. I know I'm switching through. I'm not quite sure what happened, but Donna, I'm just seeing a lot of sorry for your loss. So whatever happened, I am sorry. And I know I'm not following the comments as much, but yeah, hopefully everything works out. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of warm bath on our blending brush set here, just on the little wooden stakes or whatever you want to call those. Don't even have to do that. Could just leave them white, but I have it out, so I might as well do that. Okay, lots of fun colors here. So let's clean that off and pull that layer off. This is really coming together fun. We're almost done. I think we've only got really one layer left. And this one, I think I want to leave. I don't know. I almost think I want to just leave this one. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to add. I think what I do, if I do anything, I'm just going to do the little detail layer on here. We'll do that. And I'll put just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of lemon wood. There might even just be enough left on my brush just to add a hint of color on there. Let's see how that works. I think that's going to be what we want. Yeah, I like that. Just a subtle bit of color, but we won't. And I really don't even want to add, I could add the sprinkles onto the cupcake up there, but I kind of like it just plain on this. So I'm going to stick with that today. Okay, I think that is the end of our ink blending. Let me clean up a little bit, put those away. Things up, and then I think we're ready to pull out our dies and do a little bit of light cutting here. Then we can move on to the rest of this. So let's get this taped in place. I really do love the colors on this. I love that rainbow surprise on the inside, but kind of those warm sunset tones. Those are some of my favorite colors. This looks tropical and happy and sunshiny. Great, let's grab this. I'm going to go ahead and pop over and die cut this and be right back. I'm trying, Leah. It was really tempting to just totally copy yours because yours was so pretty. I don't know if anyone saw Leah's from the release, but it was adorable. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, be fun, but I really didn't want to just copy, as tempting as it was. So I always love that challenge of kind of being inspired by something that someone else makes. And yeah, Donna, this is really, really quick to color. And not even, like you said, I'm just kind of going slow because I was mixing and matching colors. And again, this cupcake is probably just going to get saved for another card down the road. So I'll probably just kind of tuck that out of the way for now. And we'll keep this here and kind of figure out the next little part of our card here. Oh my goodness. And now that I see with that background on there, How fun is that? The colors are perfect. Yes, and as Leah just mentioned, we also have this same set in a stamp set. So you can easily just heat emboss that in gold, and then you get a very, very similar look. I'm a little partial to hot foil, but if you're not into hot foiling, there's definitely that option. All right, so I've got my frames here ready to put together. In the meantime, though, I need to kind of get these glued across here. So this is the same size panel as my mini Slimline. So I'm going to do is stick all those on and then trim it down a little bit so it'll fit behind my frame. This is my plan anyway. And then I can still see that white border around the outside. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're just going to start here with this panel and start kind of adhering everything down. And I think the way I want to do this, let's see, nope, that's okay. So we'll just go with a little bit of liquid glue and hold everything in place. I think that's going to be our best method. And I'm going to go, I don't really need to go big because I'm going to have to still trim off some extra. So I'm just going to go kind of in here-ish, and we'll just add a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm just going to go right to the bottom because we're going to have to trim down anyway. So this will allow me some space to do that. Just one layer at a time. And then I can save those other little tidbits and probably still make use of them on something else. Glue on my fingers there, and I cut that one a little small, but again, like I said, we're gonna trim this down, so that doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to save the extra little pieces so I don't put them to waste. Trying to kind of check comments here as I go as well. Let's see, let's do it this way. Cut off a little. There we go. Actually, liquid glue works really well for this. Okay, hold on. I saw someone asking about the cardstock that I used for this. I'm going to set that out for anyone that was curious and looking for that. So this is what I'm using that I die cut all my fringe pieces out of. So just information there for whoever wanted that. And I did one of each color for this today. You could easily, I mean, as I'm sitting here looking at this, you could repeat these 4 colors or repeat these top ones, and you could get just a really fun effect doing that as well. And as I glue all these down, like once I'm done, I'm going to kind of come behind and curl them up a little bit too, just to help build that texture. Just in case you were wondering, I hadn't forgotten that. I just want to let the glue kind of dry a tiny bit before I do that. I know the gold frame and the gold hot foiling are going to be really fun on this because of these warm tones. All right, one more over here. We're almost done. This one glued down, and then I cut that one a little crooked, but that's okay. All right, the last one. Seeing lots of comments about the piñata feel. I love that. Okay, pretty sure we're okay here, but let's double check. Yes, because this will allow me just to trim off the right amount to get that frame around it without cutting too much. So then I have, and the one funny thing with this, it's totally worth it, but you get all these, I don't know if you can see, these little tiny like paper hairs. I'm gonna vacuum those up real quick just because they might drive me a little bonkers. But they're really easy just to pick up and clean and totally worth it for this fun little die. All right, let's pull out the paper trimmer. Let's see if we can get this trimmed down a little bit. So I'm going to start by going, let's check out this frame and see. Right, so if I go all the way over to here, that should be about right. But let's do a little extra just to be safe. Seeing I maybe should go reverse myself down because I kind of mangled the side of that, but I did leave myself extra room for sure. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Well, I'm going to go from the top down this time. Hey, so much better. Like I said, I didn't really think that one through before I did it. And that looks like perfect distance. Let's take a little bit off the top here. See if that was enough. And actually, you know what? I think that is. Looks like we need a tiny bit more off the side. So I'm going to take just a smidge off of there. Same thing. I'm going to start at the top and come down. See if that works. Take the tiniest bit off at the top again, too. Just a hair. And that should do it. So yes, this is a mini Slimline. I saw someone asking. So the finished card size is going to be 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. So you can kind of see it. I love even just putting this on here like this. The frame's going to make it more fun, but it still looks really cool on there like that. So of course I'm going to pop this up with foam because that's what we do. I'm going to take a moment here, grab up that embellishment tool and just punch some of the little decorative bits out of here because I have them pre-die cut, but I didn't punch those little holes out yet. So I want to get those done so we can kind of enjoy that view as well, right? What do I want to do? I guess we can do, might as well do the tiny dots as well, right? In the corners. It's all those little details that you might as well enjoy. Let's do that on this one as well. Those, and then let's cut out this one. Oh, I might cut out this one. Maybe I didn't quite cut this one right. You know what? I think when I die cut that one, it didn't cut those out yet. So I'm going to re-die cut that with a fresh piece of gold paper. And I might even end up with a color I like better. Give me 2 seconds to grab that. I actually kind of like that ever so slightly warmer tone as well. So let's switch and re-die cut that. I think when I cut that one, it's been in my stash for a while, and I think it had a really, really warped plate. So it didn't die cut super great. And sometimes that can just happen. And that's usually when I realize it's time to rotate or change my plates. All right, I'm going to die cut that one more time and be right back. Right. And I always like to turn it over and look and see. And it looks like there's a tiny bit there that didn't perfectly cut. So I am going to just run it through one more time. Sometimes that second cut helps. Let's see. And if not, the next, oops, it looks like it. I think that did die cut better. Let's see. Let's test that and see. And if it didn't, it's perfectly okay to just leave it in too. The next trick would be, next trick, it totally die cut. It just was hard to see from the back. Either the bubble wrap trick or using a metal shim. So I think I was just so worried it wouldn't cut because of the last one that I was skeptical, but these cut out great. Again, the warped plate was probably exactly my problem. And I could have just left that on, but once I had it in my head that I wanted to do it that way, then it was really hard to come back from that plan. Sure, I'm not the only one that does that. Ooh, and you know what? I'm going to save these little fringy pieces because I'm sure I can come up with something fun with that little cupcake. So we're going to set that aside, and that'll probably happen sometime down the road. And let's glue some of these together. So they're ready to go. Yes, the question about that die, we're also probably going to use the little bow from this die set as well. And then there's these other little fun border elements. And this one is just like a little wraparound bow that you can put the bow in the center of. So like I said, we'll probably use the bow as well, but I know the fringe and the bow are probably my two favorites of all of the borders in there, but the other ones are super fun too. I shouldn't say favorites, I should say the ones I've used the most. And I like just a little bit of liquid glue to stick these together. Should have stacked these up in advance, but kind of ran out of time. That's okay, right? Susie, I love that. I do the same thing. And then when someone ships something and it's not in a bubble mailer, does it make you mad? Like, I needed that bubble mailer. Like Amazon, it's like, why did you send a box? Don't you know that I need bubble mailers? Just a little bit of glue. I'm getting it on my desk. That gold one on the top. And I'm just seeing if I poked out that white one and it tried to come back and hide. Just kind of stuck on the back. There we go. I think we got that. See, someone who's that Jane said I could make a little tag with that fringe and the cupcake. I'm thinking about it. I'm also pondering, I don't know, I haven't fully decided yet. A little window of some other die or something would go really cute with that little cupcake and all that fringe. So that will get sorted out. Have no fear. All right, the final thing I want to do here is just hit a little bit off of each of these corners because that's going to show behind that frame if I don't cut those off. So cut a little extra bit of that off. See if that kind of fixed my problem. I'm also going to outer fringe there. It's going to be covered by the frame. So perfect. Okay, let's get that popped up with a little bit of fun. Pretty sure anyway. Do we want to use foam or do we just want to use liquid glue? I'm actually having second thoughts. I think. Yeah, we'll do foam. Can't go wrong with foam. Little pieces. And I'm only putting the foam on the straight stretches, not behind the little circles, because otherwise that's all you're going to see is the foam instead of letting all that fun fringe show through. And I want that fringe to show through. So it's kind of adorable. Save those little pieces because those will probably get put to good use on something else. Okay. And I am going to use a little additional liquid glue on here too, because I'm thinking about it and I want to make sure, first of all, I have a few seconds to wiggle it around and also want to make sure it holds really stable and well. So I'm going to use foam, but I'm also going to put a little liquid glue back there. Oh, it doesn't stick to my hands first. Okay, back to liquid glue. Oh, and I thought I did that. I kind of clogged it up because I didn't clean my pin off before I tucked it back in there. A good little squeeze up, and it's jamming again. I need to do a good clean on it, clearly. Let's see if we can just get through this, and then after the live, I'll keep cleaning it. And there it goes again. Lesson learned. Don't cheat and shortcut. So when it does this, usually what I do is I come around and I do a clean like this. Let me find that spot. And then just clean it off on my cloth. I'm kind of in this point, I might as well just commit and do it. I think that'll do it. Yep, that fixed it. Okay. Now let's clean that glue off so I don't do the same thing I just did. Put that back in. Okay, and then we're going to flip this over. Carefully line it up. And I'm doing it so I can make sure I see the fringe through each of those little holes. Okay. I'm going to grab my rubbing alcohol real quick here. And I've got a little bit of glue on my desk, and I found rubbing alcohol on your glass mat. Works really well to get all that little, even when it dries, the glue. All right. So now we've got that fun framed fringe, as Leah just called it. That's cute. And I'm going to get that adhered down onto my card. I don't need more foam now, so I'm just going to use some good sturdy adhesive tape. I could use liquid glue too, but I'm feeling a little over the liquid glue here real quick. So this is just score tape that I can quickly put on there. Keep holding that down so it'll dry. I've got that liquid glue, so I want to make sure it adheres down right. I'll probably lay something on top of it for just a minute to make sure. Okay. So I'm going to get my head over here so I can make sure I get this centered. All right, and then while that sits to dry for a minute, I'm just going to kind of put some clear blocks on as a weight to hold that down. And then we're going to decide what we want to do for our sentiment, because I already got this fun little cake that we're going to put on here. And what I'm not sure is, do I want to use the Hope Your Day is Sweet from the stamp set, which is a possibility. Let's grab, there we go, the pre-foiled sentiments too. I'm kind of leaning toward perhaps using one of these. So let's think about it here. I think the question, yeah, that glue almost never clogs for me. I think essentially the only time I have any issues is if I'm doing a bunch of stuff and I leave that pin out and it's got a little coating of glue that kind of dries on there. If I don't grab something damp and clean it off and jam it back in, all those little crusty bits of dried glue try and get jammed in there. So that's kind of more, I figure, my fault than anything. Or if I'm just gone on vacation, something, and I just, for one reason or another, don't use it and it sits for a long time. Sometimes it can get a little clogged, but it's never been like I have to throw it away and I can't fix it. I can always unclog it. So it's kind of my favorite for those liquid glues. So let's check out, I mean, I already love that Wish Big. I definitely think I want something more on the, that one's kind of cute, a little more scripty, even just that simple happy birthday. I don't think I want the, I mean, that one could work. I guess circles would work okay. And I know we want gold for sure, because everything on here is gold. But I think the squares are just too boxed in. That one would work. It needs something with a little more of a loose shape to it, if that makes sense, because I've already got, oh, that one's good too. That one would work, and that one would work. All right, we've got it narrowed down to a few here anyway. In fact, I haven't used any of these little sparkly bits. So I might have to break a few of those out. I'm not quite sure yet, but let's keep the gold ones of those out. This could be the perfect card for those. There's some, of course, in silver. Teresa, I don't think it's cheating. I mean, look at how much we just put into everything else on the card. So using the pre-foiled sentiment just to, I don't know. I don't feel like it's cheating. So, but you know what? If you feel that way, you can always stamp your own favorite sentiment and do it that way. So I love that we have all the options. All right. So now the question. I didn't really think about this before, but wherever I put it, it's going to hide some of the colors. So the question is, I'm almost liking it better up there because I feel like the banner kind of stands out better on the top. We're going to have to curl that up a little. There we go. I like Leah's. It's not cheating. It's efficient. It's not like we were lazy and did nothing. So, all right, let's ponder that and let's see if there's a good sentiment that fits down underneath there. Because my original plan was to put the cake at the bottom, just because it kind of seems to make sense, and then put the sentiment up there. I think that Wish Big so far is my favorite, but let's see. Oh, see that round one actually? That actually is pretty good. Put the cake down there. And then if we add a few of the, no, I don't know. Now I'm having, I don't think I love the little sparkly doodad things on this one. So I think we're gonna go back to sticking with bling on this. And then I do still want, so I'm gonna stick with that. I actually really like that round one. The next closest was, oh, there's that one too. Where's the other one? Wish Big. I'm gonna keep that one out too in case I change my mind. But I do want to add one of these cute little bows. I'm gonna die cut that out of that same gold cardstock here real quick, just because I think, let's see, let's make sure we get it out of the same color. Let's just scrap here. I'll be right back again. Okay, get that little bow out of there. I love how dainty and pretty it is. Okay, a couple of those little pieces out of there. Grab my embellishment tool to get those last, where did I put it? Here we go. Those last two little inner pieces there. Oops, I stabbed that a bit hard. Oh goodness. All right, we're gonna recut that because I just got a little overly ambitious there on my cutting there. So let's try that again. We'll just start that one over. I just poked a hole through it. It did die cut really well. I just missed and was looking up at comments when I poked, and I'll be right back. All right. Oddly enough, that one cut so much better. So it had cut great, but these are just kind of falling out now. I don't even have to work to poke them out. So different spot on my cutting plates. You know how that goes. Okay. Now we have that cute little bow. We just got to pick where we want to put it. I'm halfway pondering. Could we get away with one bow on each? Maybe we need to die cut two of these. Let's die cut one more and then we can decide. Okay, pull that little bow out of there. Put that aside to deal with later. Those little inner pieces. These seriously, this bow is adorable. Okay, do we want one on? Nope, I think that is too much, which is what I needed to know. I think I'm going to stick with one on just one side. But we'll still save that other bow because it's not going to go to waste. But I think I'm kind of liking that. So that on there, the little bow, that is a copy from Leah's card because she had the bow on there. So I did really like that. Grab some foam tape and make this a nice, good, solid pop of foam. Let's see if that's enough. I think I'm going to double foam layer that one. It's going to be a bumpy card, but we're okay with that, right? Call this one of those hand deliverables. I know, and I did think actually about, oops, since I put that upside down, I thought about the bow up there as well. I do like that, but I kind of just like it attached on there. I feel like it kind of finishes off the cake really well. Let's get that. I'm going to put that right there. As I'm doing that, I'm realizing I think I do need a little more foam at the top there to hold that in place. So let's double layer a bit more foam tape, and then we can pop that up under the top just to hold that up. And then, of course, we need some foam behind that. I've got to stick with the double layer there to keep it consistent. I really do like that. And then we'll just stick that little bow. Oops, as I did that, now I'm realizing might go a little, might have to see if I can make that up a little bit. There we go. Now can we get away with, nope, I think I actually need to move. I'm really glad that this is allowing me to have a little wiggle room to peel that down. Whew, okay. Thank goodness for flexible foam tape. There we go. Now we can stick that bow on there. How are we doing for time? We're going to make it. I think we can squeeze a little bit of bling on here to finish off and be all caught up and done on this. So the one bow is there. I'm just going to call it quits there. Right, Teresa, easily just switch out the colors and you could make this work for anyone. Should we try and see? Okay, and I actually see one more little tiny spot that I want to anchor with a little bit of foam tape there. It's going to make a tiny little double layer there to put behind the banner there where the bow is. I feel like it kind of needs just, yeah, me there. I need something to kind of hold it in place. There we go. That's going to do the trick. And then in a like manner, let's do a little double layer on the other side of the banner. That way most of it's floating free, but a little bit of stability there on the sides. Better. Okay. So the final touch, as you know, is going to be, nope, I lied. You guys know I like foam tape, right? You might know that. If you watch the lives, you might kind of have an idea there. I feel like it needs a little more foam at the bottom of the cake. I probably should have just put more foam on to start with, but there we go. Now it's more stable and solid. That's good. Pull out some bling and see if we can just quickly add a little bit on there. Actually really feeling the little lemon ones. Thank you, everybody. Like I said, I was a little worried that I would be so rusty that it wouldn't go well. So I'm glad that it worked. And I think what I want to do, I just want lots of these little bitty crystals. I did this on another part that I made, and I just popped them around the top there of the little whipped, I don't know what else to call it, the little whipped elements. Let's just get them on there and see how they look. I don't want to spend too much time and overthink this. Nope, that one's too big. The other little bitty one, I'm just going to go all the way around. Nope. Oops, well, I got some more. Let's see. A lot of times you have a lot of extra of certain sizes, and there we go. Almost there. One more. There we go. I think that would do it. I think we could put a lot more on other places. I mess here real quick so I don't fling them everywhere. Probably do this somehow more efficiently, but for now that worked. And then let's just do liquid glue and get all of those adhered down. Oh, and I do see one more spot. I need one. Need one in the center of that bow, and it needs to be one of the bigger ones. There we go. I will put these away in a minute now. Yes, that was important. Fresh one that I didn't get glue on the back of prematurely. That's where I'm quiet as I make sure I get all these in straight. Tiny dots. And I always like to put the bling in place and then glue it down, so I know, I don't know, some people are way braver than me. They dot the glue and then grab what they're going to put down. I'm not that skilled. The last one. April, okay. the border, it's called a shell border. Right, I'm going to learn from my mistakes here. I'm going to clean my pin off, get all that extra glue off. So I can stick that down. And now my glue will be fine. So here we go. Lots of sparkle, lots of bling, all of that fringe texture. Super duper fun. There might end up some more bling on there, but I think I'm feeling pretty good with that. I don't know. I might put a few, hold on. We're just going to take 2 seconds and just see if one of the ideas in my head is going to work. Nope, not that one. Go with just that, and you know what? This is absolutely necessary. That's the final piece that it needs. So I'm just going to stick those down, and then I can feel comfortable with wrapping this up and being done. My hand is all shaky. Here we go. And then the other side is perfect for wiggling them around till you're happy with them. All right, that was the finishing touch that it needed. Close up look at all of that. And thank you everybody for joining. I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're only a minute late. We're doing pretty good. I think we can roll with that. And then we'll let Leah announce the winner so you guys can all be on your way and enjoy your week. Camera switch. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you liked the sparkly, blingy party card. Like I said, much to my surprise, I am super in love with how it all came out. So if I'm being quite honest, I was a little just feeling scattered this morning and not quite sure what we're going to end up with. So I like how it worked and how it came out. So yeah, it just felt like I had sparkle everywhere. Who said that? Amy Loris? I don't know if I said your name right, but it had so much sparkle, it just felt a little empty at the top. So that little bit on the sentiment, I think, was exactly the finishing touch that it needed. All right, and there we go. There is the winner that Leah just announced, Monica Isley, if I said your name right. And if not, I apologize. Congratulations, you are today's $15 gift card winner. So all you need to do to claim that is email Leah at pinkfreshstudio.com. Her name is just spelled L-E-A, no H on the end. And give her a few days to get back to you. She gets a lot of emails, so sometimes it takes a few minutes to check that out. And I see that Monica just saw that she was the winner. So congratulations again. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me today. And we have one more live. Actually, I take that back. I think we have 2 lives this week. We've got our scrapbook live on Thursday with Kathleen. So make sure and pop back, even if you're a card maker. We have a lot of card makers that show up and always say that they get really great ideas from that. It might even inspire you to start scrapbooking. And then I think we have craft hour this Saturday with Jeff. Leah can correct me, but same time, same place, just on Saturday. So make sure and check back for that. And thank you